Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 4 in my Colorado series. This is the episode where I shoot my bear. But this story is a hard one to tell, as this was both the best and the worst hunting experience of my life so far. We'd spent the afternoon spying the face for bears. The rifle hunter from the other day was there too, and we chatted for a good while, but he told us he was going to head home, and off he went. A little while later, as the sun began to dip, 2 bears came running out of the tree line, pursued by a third. Oh, that's a mum and cub, isn't it?
I don't know whether that's the cub or not.
Pretty sure that's a mum and
That's
cub.
the mum and the cub, yeah.
I'm not sure where the third one is. I saw 3 at one point though.
Yeah,
Yeah, we saw 3.
it's definitely mum and cub there.
That one is the mom and cub. The cub though looks big for a cub.
2-year-old maybe.
Like just about to be.
2-year-old maybe.
A 2-year-old cub?
Well, don't they keep them for 2 years?
Oh, they keep them for 2 years?
Yeah.
And you can't shoot them when they're still with them.
No.
I think they're socio-dependent.
That third one though was a different one in age.
The big bear was out of sight at this point. None of us knew where he had gone, but it was amazing just to watch the mother and cub for a little while. They were nervous, I don't blame them. The cub held up in the rocks, and the mother cautiously made her way down the face beneath him. The pair were seriously beautiful bears, both more chocolatey than black, and not a mark on them. A third chocolate bear appeared not far from them, bigger than the cub, but smaller than the mother, clearly aware of them, and keeping a moderate distance. I wondered if this was the same chocolate from the other night, and I wondered if it might have been the mother's cub from a previous year. I read somewhere that female black bears sometimes loosely tolerate their previous daughters. Maybe this was the case. She was the same colour after all. Whatever it wasn't a cub, and it didn't have cubs. It was a good age of bear to take. The big boy had also now reappeared. He was working his way down the slope, surfacing for mere moments before disappearing again into the sea of berries. Rod gave me a firm shove and reminded me that I wasn't the only one after a bear here. The rifle hunter had literally spent the afternoon telling us that bears tend to go quiet for a good few days after they're shot at, and he seemed to be looking for the bigger bear. If I was going to fill my tag here, it was literally now or never. Getting up this hill quickly wasn't easy. It's steeper than it looks on video, and the ground was so loose, but I couldn't really afford to stop and catch my breath. I could stop for a breather when I was in bow range, but until then I needed to haul ass, as the Americans put it, and close the distance between me and the chocolate bear.
There's 4 bears came out all in one spot. There's a mother and a cub and 2 bears that we could shoot. Charlie's up in here somewhere, going up towards them, but all the other bears have came across into this draw, and this guy's decided he's going to shoot one. And Charlie needs to shift herself if she's going to beat him to it.
One of the challenges with public land hunting is that it is a free-for-all. And despite earlier in the day saying he'd let me take the opportunity if one arose, it quickly became clear that this wasn't going to be the case. But that's just public land hunting. Until the animal is somebody's, it's nobody's. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But I'm not gonna lie, this entire situation sucked. I was racing uphill against what is pretty much a long-range rifle to get within bow range. Completely submerged in bushes, with 4 bears in my close vicinity that I could not see or hear, including an already on edge protective mother bear, which would be the last type of bear I would like to meet up close and personal. Knowing that any moment I'm going to hear a shot go off, all these bears will spook, and my opportunity to fill a tag will disappear into the void. It's not like we had long left of the trip at this point. Would we even be able to find bears elsewhere in the little time that we had left? The fact that I was a dark shape rustling in the bushes wasn't lost on me either. The guy said he knew where I was, and he is probably a perfectly competent hunter. But I didn't know him, and in that moment I was more worried about getting shot than getting mauled by a bear. The rifle was a 7mm. I shoot a 7mm. I know what a 7mm does to a body. I see it nigh on daily. There is nae plugging those holes and hoping for the best. If you cannae tell, there was a lot going through my mind at this point.
So we're still up in the rocks.
As I got to where I'd seen the solo chocolate, I heard rustling. There was a bear not far away. But until I knew for absolute certain that this bear was not the mother or the cub, there wasn't a chance in hell I was going to take a shot. I needed to see it out in the open properly. I'd need to get somewhere where I'd have the chance of seeing it in the clear. But before I had time to do anything, a shot went off. The solo chocolate bear was hit. I don't know where she was hit, but she was hit. The big bear then emerged about 40 yards below us at the sound, and another shot went off.
For f***'s sake.
My heart hit the floor. I didn't know the rules on bears and rifles and how many a resident could take, but I knew that they were keen to reduce numbers here, so I just assumed the rifle hunter had shot both of them. He hadn't. The second shot was at his original bear who'd made it further up the face. When I realised what had actually happened, I caught a split-second glimpse of the big bear heading further downhill. I still had a chance here. I kept catching glimpses of him. He was working his way downhill, but he kept stopping to feed. The light was fading, but I still had a good bit of time to work with. By this point my GoPro had died. With the rush earlier, I'd forgotten to put a fresh battery in before I set off, which is beyond gutting, because I would have loved to have captured what happened next from my perspective.
Well, the guy shot the smaller of the two, I think. And this one's tracking it across here now. Charlie's running after it. Charlie's like running after him, but that's not going to work, I don't suppose. Did you shoot the brown one that went up the hill?
What's that?
Did you shoot the brown one that went up the hill? Oh, you hit it then?
Yeah, I thought so. But it f***ing went up.
Oh yeah, but you hit it though.
The first shot, I hit it.
Oh yeah, hit it with the first shot, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up there. Did you see that bear come out in front of me afterwards that she's hunting?
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were going to shoot.
No, that was the one she was hunting.
Oh, she's still on it.
Yeah,
I don't know where the fuck he's gone.
He's above it.
Yeah, he's gone into these thick bushes down here. I don't know. I lost sight of him.
She's right above the bear right now.
Yeah.
Not the big, not the mom, but the other one.
Yeah. He's.
That thing came out at 50 yards in front of me.
Yeah, he was on that carcass.
Oh, was he?
That's where the guts are. Yeah.
No shit.
Well, it's the same place he was the other day, anyway.
No way. I gotta hike up there. That went way the.
Yeah, he did. He went quite a long way. Maybe when
I thought I hit it. He went up a cliff. He might be in those trees though. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I was too bloody excited watching everything happen.
Usually when I shoot bears, oh, there he is, right there. See him?
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah. I could have shot that thing, but I'd already shot one, so it's out of luck. That one's not big either.
Pardon?
Yeah, it's pretty big. That's a nice one.
Yeah, no,
black.
it's a lump.
Yeah.
Plenty big enough for her.
That guy gave me quite the shot, but I was like, huh, look at him, he's eating.
He's going back to feeding, hasn't he?
He's going back to feeding. She might get this thing.
I don't know whether you can get them in this country or not, but you should look up Viper Flex sticks. So they're like these, except they have, like, it opens and your rifle sits on the front and the back.
Oh yeah, that's nice to have the back.
And then you can get another leg that goes in front, and
Yeah.
I tell you what, you can shoot groups like that 100. They are so
You'd
you'd kill that bear from here. You wouldn't even worry about it.
I almost came back and got my pack to rest it on.
I hope she's keeping her eye on him because she's getting close. I think the wind's turned the wrong bloody way. You see, she's gonna look. Hey, she's gonna fucking run into this bear. She's just fucking here in these bushes.
He fed into a thick bit and out of sight. I decided to keep my height, presuming that he'd continue on his path and come out the other side. If I could overtake him and end up in line above him, I'd be in a good position to shoot from. It was wrong to presume. He didn't go any further downhill. He fed along, upwards, and then double-backed. But I didn't know that. I couldn't see him. And when I came round a bush, there he was.
She does and walks past the Beverly.
Here it comes down through it. There it is.
Yeah, she shot it that time.
She shot it again.
Yeah!
Yeah. That's it.
Holy shit, she's got balls.
Yeah. That was like a 5.
Me.
She's saying she got it. There's a lot of hands in the air.
Holy shit! I didn't even need pants for that one.
The thing came right above her.
Holy Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh.
I think she's got bigger balls than both of
Oh
those
yeah.
put together.
Guaranteed. That was nuts. Holy shit.
I bet she's got that on the
Oh, guaranteed. That thing was right in front of her.
I mean,
5 yards.
I've got this filming. I hope it's caught her. Holy shit. Well, I have no idea how much of that is on camera or not on camera. Jesus friggin' Christ. That bear must have been 3 yards from her. So she said something about an arrow snapped. I don't know what she meant, but an arrow snapped when she put it in the bow, and the bear saw her and came through the bush to her and came out growling and hissing, and then she shot him. I mean, I was looking through the binos. Christ, I thought it was going to eat her. Holy shit. That was insane. That was insane. Me. And that was a big bear. Jesus Christ. Well, I know what we're doing in the morning. We're tracking that. So there's no way we're tracking it in this light. Not with a mother and a cub up there and another bear that the guy had shot with a rifle. It'll be a track them in the morning job. Jesus Christ almighty, that was scary to watch. Like, honestly, that bear, if I was to imagine how it would have been, I'm stood at the car door, it was stood on the car roof. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god.
The footage is horribly grainy. More concerned that I was going to die, Rod had given up on filming and left the camera sitting on the roof of the car. So let me slow this down and explain what actually happened. When I came round the bush, he was very close, but he had his back to me. Partially hidden by the foliage, I crept forward into a better position, and he started walking back through the thick towards the clear above me. I went to draw, and I don't really know what happened, but the arrow fell out of my bow. It twanged the string, dropped to the ground, and clattered across the rock at my feet. The noise pissed him off. He took a few bounds towards me, stopped, and clacked his teeth. Now, hearing a bear clack his teeth was on my bucket list. If you ever want to feel alive, hear that at close range. I don't even remember knocking another arrow, but apparently I did. I drew and he circled up and round through the bushes. When he emerged, I got to see him in full, and fuck me, he was a big bear. He stood quartered towards me, grumbling. He was about 10 yards from me, uphill. It wasn't a perfect broadside position to shoot him in, and he probably would have spooked and ran. But if he took the notion, he could have been on me in seconds. And honestly, I didn't really fancy finding out what 200 to 300 pounds of black bear felt like. When you've got a predator bigger than you, looking you in the eyes and making unhappy noises, and you have something sharp and pointy in your hands, you send it. So I did. This all happened pretty quickly. And I'd love to say that I had some profound thoughts in my head at that moment, but all I was thinking about was his shoulder blade. My mind was a mood board of all the bear skeletons that I'd ever seen, and my only thought was don't hit that fucking shoulder blade. As he ran, I saw my white fletchings sticking out his side. He'd taken well over half the arrow. I hadn't hit the shoulder blade, and from the angle that the fletchings were sticking out at, I'd likely gotten the back of one lung and some liver. The arrow had probably been stopped by the spine or an adjacent rib. It wasn't perfect, a complete pass-through would have been ideal, but the arrow was in the engine room and it would kill him. I'd taken my shot in the last 10 minutes of shooting light. It was getting dark now, and like all archery bears, this bear needed time. We'd return in the morning to track the blood as soon as there was enough light to do so. So I shot a bear tonight, and it was pretty close.
How close?
Pretty close.
How close?
About 5 seconds away from a hug. Close.
No. Like 5 steps away from a hug close.
Yeah, it was like less than 10 yards, and I
drew...
Uphill, yeah. I drew, my arrow broke in my hand. I'm not really sure what happened with that. That pissed him off, and he like grumped and stomped, like not a bluff charge, but like stomped a couple paces forward and had a wee growl, and I just put all my pins on him and shot in his chest. But it was on the last knockings of light, so we can't go look for it in the dark. Obviously every animal runs with a bow, well, an arrow. Apparently a rifle too.
Apparently that's a 7 rem mag as well. That
was it?
Shooting, 7
for
rem mag.
God's sake. Yeah. So basically, we're going to go and look for my bear tomorrow, and if that guy's there, we'll give him a hand, or if he's not, we'll go look for his bear too, because it ran a fair bit.
It went up cliffs, like.
It went up cliffs, so we'll have a look, because I saw it like run after the shot, and it was very wounded. Mine just disappeared into brush, but like it was very close, so obviously I wasn't going to get a good view at it. But I hope he's just lying there stone dead.
I couldn't see it. Just like I thought you were going to get eaten. Then I honestly thought you were going to get eaten. When you shot and it ran away, I was like, Jesus Christ! And I'd never even thought to look where the bear went. Yeah, I mean, I think I know it's a high shot, but I think it was far enough back in its chest. But it was a high shot because it was stood up when you shot. No, it was stood like on all fours. On all fours. Pretty much broadside, just a slightly tilted head. But I just wanted to stop him coming towards me. So I shot. Get a laptop out, let's see if we can zoom in on that, because I want to see what actually... Jesus Christ, you want to see it from our angle, like. Cool.
I'd been lying in bed for about 2 hours before the adrenaline got me. Up until then, I'd just been ecstatic. I'd shot my bear. After the drop came the worry. Honestly, I didn't sleep much that night. I went back and forth from grinning about what had just happened to fretting about finding him. I didn't doubt that I'd killed him, but bear blood trails are notoriously hard to find, as more often than not, they don't really leave one. Bears clot up with fat, and without that complete pass-through, would there even be a solid trail to follow? That experience, shooting a bear like that, I have never felt more alive. That was the best day of my life. I won't forget that. But honestly, I would have preferred a calm, broadside shot, without the stress, without the rush. I had a lot to think about while I waited for the following day to break.
That's us, we're kind of 10 yards or so from where she shot from, so that's a steep hill. It's such a noisy, horrible place. Go around here, see if we can find the arrow, see where she shot from, and then start see if we can find any blood. God, I'm out of breath. Come on.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, he ran up the way. I went back to where I shot and like basically pretended to be a bear and stood at the various different levels, and then it's here and he's run this way. It's not much, but like it's blood.
So where?
I've already found you that. There's better blood.
All right, on the ground.
Yeah. Look on the rocks. Look at the rocks.
It's hellish on the dry ground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it on that rock there. Yeah. It's not much, but it's blood.
Problem is, because it's oxidised, you can't really tell what kind of blood it is.
No, it's quite dark.
Yeah. That's because it's dried.
Stay there, I'll go.
Huh?
I said stay there for a second and I'll see if I can find... Oh, here's blood, look here. Just here on this little white rock. And there's blood up there. On that small rock. So, we found blood and we're following blood, which is a good start. Here's blood up here, look. So, what Charlie's following the track, trying not to step on the blood in case we need to come back, and I'm kind of, where am I? I'm kind of zigzagging round, skipping in front, so trying not to disturb the, because if you just roll one of these little rocks over, you're never going to see the blood. So we're just going gingerly. So hard to spot, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of lost it a wee bit there, to be fair. Well, he might have went downhill, yeah, exactly. So. Or he could have went higher up or anything. So. Here's a wee bit here, look.
Wee touch of hair and a better splat of blood there. Oofed.
No, this is blood on all this grass here, though, definitely, look. All this tree, all this little bush here is painted up with blood, and all of this grass here is painted up. Well, it's bleeding good. Alright, that's good. Yeah, so we're getting better now.
Yeah.
This is better. Trans yet.
I'm so happy. There's just blood.
Blood on this beside us here, look. And on these rocks here. There's blood all the way up here, like. And all these little rocks. Oh, look at this lot here. That's a good load of blood. Oh, that's looking more exciting.
Yeah, look at all the little specks.
Oh, yeah. That's covered in blood.
The ground's covered in blood.
All the ground's covered in little spots everywhere. So it's bleeding good. You've got to watch in case he turns and jumps uphill, see? Which he could have done there. There's no blood in that wee rock there,
it's blood. I'll go up
you go up there and go around. Just spraying. What? Oh, spraying like.
Oh, look.
Yeah, he's getting bleeding.
That is. Yeah.
Keep going.
The blood trail was strong and consistent. Obviously, he was only bleeding out of one side, and it seemed to go thinner every time the trail went straight uphill. But there was still plenty to follow. We couldn't find my arrow.
So if your arrow falls out, you'll start bleeding better, like.
Yeah. Just filming. Oh, you got more?
The specks up here, this is broken and it's got blood.
The ground was incredibly dry and sandy, and so the blood was only really visible on the rocks and the foliage, but the bushes were painted. We didn't film every single bit of the trail, but for the first 150 yards the blood was really good and really strong. If it was a deer, you'd be expecting to find it dead nearby.
I stopped you and tried to pull it off.
That's a big spray of blood there. There was a lot of blood here, but then the trail near enough disappeared.
It's bleeding good now because all these bushes are just painted with blood.
We picked up a faint blood trail 10 yards further up and followed it, but whilst editing this video, we realised that this is the exact same trees the rifle hunter's bear ran into. Though we didn't see two distinct trails, their bloods potentially crossed. I hope we didn't follow the wrong one. So we hit a big patch of blood, and then the blood trail kind of went quite faint, and we're starting to pick it back up again now. There's still a fair bit of blood, so here's hoping. We didn't film much more after this. The further up we went, the ground became steeper and drier and a whole lot looser, and we really needed both hands free to navigate it safely. The trail dead-ended at a steep and very sandy incline. Each time we tried to go further, the ground would slip, potentially covering crucial specks of blood. Without obvious sticks and stones to catch the blood, it was impossible to know which way the bear went. We had no water on us, and with the heat of the day coming in fast, we decided to go down and see if we could organise a tracking dog. The blood had started off so strong that survival was unlikely, but with the unhelpful terrain, a dog would be our best chance of finding him. So this morning we... Done? So, this morning We tracked the blood trail. It was pretty good blood, and we tracked it for about 500 yards before we got to like a really cliffy, steep kind of ravine bit that was...
Well, we went along a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
we went along probably 300 yards of cliffy, steep,
like,
ravine bits that...
sketchy arsed.
Yeah, the kind of bits that where if you slip, you're going to slip and roll and go off a cliff.
Yeah.
Kind of bits. They weren't just slippy, they were...
It wasn't the easiest
That
of
angle kind
tracking.
of slippy.
Yeah.
And sand.
It was pretty sketchy, and it got to the point of too sketchy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of blood there, and we phoned the game warden to see if we couldn't find a dog, like a local tracking dog. We'd already asked on Rocky Mountain Game Recovery.
Yeah.
But that's just volunteers, and it looks
and
great.
We tried a couple of numbers.
We tried a couple of numbers, but like I kind of think we'll get a phone back around, work finishing time, because it's not people's day job. So we're gonna. Well, we phoned the game warden, asked him. He says that he knows of a couple. He'll give them a phone, but it's unlikely because they're also elk guides at this time of year.
Yeah.
But from what we told him, he sounded pretty confident that that was a good blood trail for a bear, and it was a good shot to an extent. Maybe a wee touch high, one lung. But there's hope. There is hope that we might find it. And we're going to go and march our... Yeah, there was a lot of blood, like a serious amount of blood. If it was a deer, you'd expect to be finding it dead, basically.
You wouldn't have expected the blood trail to go on that far without finding it. That was...
It was a lot of blood, and it was red, good blood.
It was the fletchings.
Here.
We did eventually find the fletchings, which are like...
Yeah. He's bit it off.
They are covered in blood.
Yeah.
So there was definitely... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
Basically.
If you were at home, you'd get the dog.
Yeah, like we would have found this probably if it's there. We would have found this with a dog.
Well, you would find it if it's that badly. It's dead. It's
basically.
dead. Yeah, I mean, it's.
So we just need to find it. That's the only.
The bit where we stopped, there was a tree. The banking goes up and there's a tree and there's a little flat. And right there was a splatter of blood on a rock and some stones that would be around about the size of a steering wheel in a car. Yeah. So like a foot by a foot splatter of blood. Well, whether he'd laid down there and licked himself clean or no idea. But from that massive splash of painted blood, we couldn't find another speck. It's the weirdest.
But the game warden did point out that we did not look up, and
well, he did say look up a tree because it could have went up a tree. But I mean, it's
some of those trees were chunky though.
It's a 250 to 300 pound black bear, and that was this fat of a tree with little skinny branches. I just can't see how it would possibly sit up a tree and stay there unless it was still alive.
Yeah.
In which case, it probably would have jumped on us.
We just need to go back up and look. So we're going to go up a safer route and kind of come back round and into where we lost the blood. Just so that it's a bit safer. So we're just going to do what we can. I mean, this is part of bow hunting. Every animal shot with the bow runs. You have to track it. It would be better if
it was in a flat field. It wouldn't be so bad, but it's
it's a vertical bit with a lot of cover. So
it's vertical, but it's like a sandy slip. If you were to slip, you're probably looking at 300 yards before there's anything to stop you.
Yeah.
If you didn't go off a cliff in the meantime. Yeah. Like even some of the bits where I have videoed it a little bit, but like even some of the bits when we were trying to come back down, just to get 10 yards away from where we were at the last blood, you almost needed ropes to abseil down. It was sketchy, like.
It was big rocks as well getting dislodged, and then like you can't go. We were trying to separate ourselves out, so we don't dislodge something
in case
and
you smack each other in the just.
And like Abby did to me on rum.
Anyway, it's an awful hot day, and it's a bloody long walk up a really stupidly steep hill.
We're gonna go and sweat our tits off.
So we're gonna go and try and kill ourselves and get up there.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Plan is at the moment we spoke to the game warden and stuff, and he suggested going along the ridge and having another look above, which is what I wanted to do anyway, but I would like to take in a dog. So at this very end here there's a bit that's private, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of try and get up around this point here and then go up this ridge, and then pretty much in around here is where we lost That's where we lost the kind of trailer, where we got bluffed out, as Americans say. So like right on the very ridge top up there, there's some aspens, so we're going to use that as a mark, and then we're going to just kind of, where it's safe enough and flat enough up the top, we'll just zigzag about and see if we can't pick up any kind of a trail or see any magpies or find anything that gives us any kind of a clue. Short of that, without a dog, and dogs over here are like a strange, it's not like at home where you just take your dog and crack on. You've got to have a permit, and a permit's got to be in this unit, and God only knows what all. So finding somebody, yeah, there might be somebody that's willing. Most people who are that kind of people are out elk hunting, so basically we're on our own really, unless somebody managed to get in touch with us, but it's very unlikely at this stage. So like I say, we're going to stick the packs on, try and hoof it up there as quick as we can, because really we want to be back down before it's dark, because that won't be a pleasant walk in the dark.
Also, there's a mama bear and a cub up
also
there.
There's a bear with a cub up there somewhere, so
which is way scarier.
they'll be scared. They'll be scared of us, but like still, yeah. Really, we want to get up there, have a look, see what we find. If we don't find anything, come back down. If we do find something, then awesome. We might have to hang it or something overnight. I've no idea what if we do find it, but that's another matter. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it if we do find it. The size of the bear, we wouldn't ever pack it out in one go anyway. So, and you have to bring the entire skin or something out and the head. So I mean that's probably one load in a pack all on its own. Then you've got all the meat. So you know, if it's a 300-pound bear, there's going to be a couple £100 worth of meat. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're going to go and try, because there's nothing else we can do. The bear equally might be denned up halfway up them cliffs, dead, and we might never ever be able to get to him. Who knows? But I mean, everything that we've seen, everything that we've said, and everybody that we've described what's gone on to, it's a dead bear. It's just a matter of finding it. But for where it's gone into, short of having abseiling equipment, I'm just not sure how the hell we're following it. Anyway, we're going to crack on and have a look. We're going to find him. Nothing that I can film is going to do this justice. Doesn't look particularly steep, but it's well,
There you go.
3 feet away from me and you're down there. It's steep. We've just found the blood trail from kind of where we started following it this morning. We're trying to get up to this pine behind me, and then we're going to go up the ridge. Where is it? Up the ridge, up behind, and we're going to follow around up over into here where we kind of lost the trailer, where we couldn't follow it anymore earlier. And so it's bloody scorching hot. Yeah, if it was this hot at home, you'd just be staying in the house. So we're going up there to that gap and then up that bloody ridge. But it seems easy, it looks easy, but it's not when you're trying to do it. I don't know whether any of this film does it justice, but the car, where's the car? The car is, I don't know, there somewhere down in the bottom of the road. It's tiny. It's bloody hot. That doesn't look bad, but I'm pointing the camera uphill to look at it. We're trying our best. There's literally nothing else we can do.
Yeah. If it was cold, we'd be up here a lot quicker.
If it was cold, we'd be fine, we'd be up there. But like,
It's just too hot.
we came up this morning without packs and water, not expecting to be away up the top there, and everything that happened, so we're just gonna go, we're just throwing a bloody dart now, because if we find it, it'll be a miracle, but you never know. Miracles happen sometimes.
It's like unnaturally blue. It's beautiful, but like, where are the clouds? So, just had a message back from the dog tracking lot that it's illegal to track bears with dogs in Colorado. Thanks. Oh well, he can hang out here. So yeah, just had a message back from the dog tracking lot that it's illegal to track bears with dogs in Colorado apparently, which don't know. The rangers guys seem to think it was alright, but maybe it is. I don't know. But had to explore that avenue, had to try everything we could. We are currently hoofing it back up to try and look again. I hope we find them. Huh? Yeah, try and get round.
I mean, if we can cut the trail of the blood, I mean, we went across the trail of the blood down there. Yeah. I mean, I knew it was roughly the right spot, but I mean, as soon as we went across it, I saw the blood on the stones again. It's not hard to find the blood on these stones, so if it's like that up there and we can come across his track and there's any blood, there's a chance, but it's a bloody slim one, I think. He could be halfway up the cliff in a hole.
Yeah, that's a bigger problem. And like with that amount of blood, he's probably holed up dead somewhere.
Everybody that we've talked to, everybody that we've showed anything, they've all said, yeah, that's dead. Yeah. And we think the amount, I mean, that bit of video that I've got of that spray of blood, I mean, that's like 10 feet of just blood. like somebody threw a bucket of water on there. I mean, that's some good blood loss. I don't know.
I just hope he's not in a hole we can't get to him.
Like we said, he was humped up. He'd been chasing that bear with a cub. The other bear had been shot. Yeah. And then you chased him all the way along there. Yeah. Then he was coming stomping at you. He was full of adrenaline. He was, That can do crazy stuff to...
They can also...
Filming my feet.
Sorry.
But yeah, so God knows. Oh, if only I had a fucking mule deer tag. Oh, never mind. Sod's law. Anyway, we're going to keep pushing up this hill. We're just totally cliffed out again. Like, I think we're about at the same height. Where are you? I think we're about the same height up the slope. And I think this is like a band of rock that goes right along. I'm really not sure whether we can get past it or not. There's trees going up here, so potentially we might be able to find a way, but like, honestly, that's what we're dealing with. I mean, it's savage, isn't it?
It's pretty crumbly.
It's real steep and it's real like sandy and loose, and when you step on it, it just crumbles under your feet. Yeah, we're just pushing on because there's nothing else we can bloody do. I just don't know whether we can even get any further, so. Holy shit. In the shade, if nothing else. It's just sheer. It's just...
Up here. Flat. It's quite flat there.
It's savage. It's like we've got to not get stuck on here in the dark, because it'll be Dodge City coming down here in the dark. It'll be bad coming down here in the dark, like we've got to be careful. Like.
Find the bear and we can ride it home.
Like, nothing I can film here is going to do that justice, because I'm looking up.
You look at my butt?
I'm looking at your butt, but I'm also looking up there at like 45-50 degrees up. That is sheer rock face. Sheer rock face. Like, up in the top of here. Sheer rocks. I don't know whether we can even get back to where we were earlier. It's stupid, this. It's like, that's stupid. Nothing I can film does that justice, like.
Yeah.
Like, that is vertical. Absolutely vertical. And vertical. Bear didn't go, well, I know, but there's bits where a bear could potentially go through, isn't there? Like.
We're not in front yet.
No, we're above him. We're above him. I don't know what I recorded then or what I didn't.
Didn't record anything.
Didn't record anything. There's a bit up here behind us where potentially the bear could get up over. But we've just walked right along all of this and we've never seen any sign, and there's nothing to say to us that he went up there or went along or anything. I mean, we're just walking these paths kind of where we can walk, and we're going to go further than we think, go down a bit and zigzag back. It's an absolute shot in the dark to just see if we can find the blood, but Christ almighty, I think we're on the steepest ground I want to be on. We came further, I'm pretty sure, than we got before along the slope, and if this bear came up, if he came up here, then we would cut his blood. If he ran along below us, then we won't cut his blood, so we need to zigzag. But what we need to do is almost go level and then just come level back and just take the next path down, the next path down, the next path down, and just keep doing that for like 100-200 yard stretch here where we lost the blood before, and just kind of grid search this whole, I don't know what it'll be, 200 metre by 150 metre square. Just grid that and just see if we can't pick any of that. But I mean, there's so many different options of where he could have went. He could even have turned and went right straight back downhill and be in the I mean, it's,
There's no telling where he is.
Without finding blood, there's nothing we can do. And finding blood in this, I mean, this environment, it's so dry.
The blood just soaks right
And
in.
the blood just soaks right in. The stones are brilliant for seeing it on, and the dead sticks are fairly good, but I mean, it would be so easy to miss. And it's vast. There's no, it could have went anywhere. There's no, like, there's a path through the gap. It could have went anywhere.
There's also crevices in the rocks and everything.
It could be in a hole.
Yeah.
Or it could be up there and out. We could have gone past the blood. Who knows?
Just gotta keep looking. If I don't find this bear, I'm gonna be absolutely gutted. I'm already gutted.
What? Jesus. Chris is slippy. What you got there? Probably an elk.
We're here in deepest, darkest Colorado's bear country, looking for the black bear.
You're a bellend.
I'm belling. I want to say something stupid before I die. Where's some stuck?
Just scoot.
Gee whiz. There's another bone.
I know. I already clocked it. It's a wee Denny kind of bit that probably just laid up here and chewed on it. Yeah.
Oh wow, talking of bones. A bear skull?
No, that's coyote.
Coyote, you think?
Yeah, that's Kenny.
Right there, there's a pad, and 1, 2, 3, 4, like a pad, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, like, definitely a bear walked up there. Bears everywhere in here, it's crazy. This is us trying to get back down. We're just hoping that on the way down we might have caught where he crossed here or anything, but like, realistically we're done. There's just very, very little hope of finding this now. It could be up a tree or anywhere. Or, I don't know, that ground in there where we lost him so steep you can't get into it. So we're just trying to go this way to get back down to the bottom, because it looks like the easiest route rather than trying to go back the way we've just came, because that was savage in itself. Alright. Bloody steep though, isn't it?
Absolutely gutted.
We're just working our way down this avalanche chute. Oh, we're screwed. Yeah, up there's not doing it justice, but we've climbed something like 1,000, 1,300, 1,500. I don't know whether it's feet or meters or whatever's on the map, but like, cars are way down there. And that's probably about how steep, we're there, right, that's level there. According to my wee line, that's about how steep it is. And we've been up it twice for like 1,500 feet or meters or whatever it is. We followed the blood like along to where we lost it, and then how to draw it on the map. We followed the blood along, and then we kind of went above it and round and right round and back down, and we've not crossed a blood trail that we've found. So there's just nothing else we could do realistically. It could be in a cave, could be in the hills, could be up a tree, could have bunged up with fat like bears do. But the amount of blood that was coming out of him, that's got to be dead. Like, got to be dead. There was a 2 foot wide spray for 10 meters. I've got film of it. I probably will have played it somewhere on this if this ends up being in the film, but something that's spraying out blood, so there's a splatter of blood every inch or whatever. That's losing a lot of blood. Bears are notorious for bunging up and not bleeding very well and all the rest of it. They can do a mile with a heart shot, so I'm fairly confident it's dead, but like, I'm fairly confident we're never going to find it without a dog, and apparently dogs aren't allowed, so nothing much more to say.
We went back to Scott's camp that night. Rod had an elk tag to fill, and there were units over here he wanted to hunt in. We got a shower and a good feed that night, but it didn't ease the blow of not finding the bear. I thought about nothing but he couldn't have survived that blood loss. If my shot had landed where I thought it had, then he wouldn't have survived that wound. Somewhere, there was a dead bear. I couldn't let it go, and a few days later, I went back to look again. Good morning, it's one of our last days here, and I'm going to go and look for this bear again, because I know he's there somewhere. You don't lose that much blood and live. So, somewhere up there, he's lying there, and I hope I can smell him. I once tracked a stag 60 yards, not one and shot, just a rotten one that I smelt on the wind and followed it till I found it. Decent skull that. But yeah, I once did that, so I'm hoping I can smell him. Or hear some birds, like, that'd be good. I saw a hawk around here around up there the other day, so hopefully he's there somewhere. It's just a case of finding him. Getting there, not far to go till the first marked blood.
Charlie's away looking for a bear, and I caught a nice trout. Trouty McTrouterson. I'm going to put him back there because I don't like eating fish.
Look what I just found. I'm pretty sure it's an elk with the way it's kind of branched out like that. Just looks like a red deer antler. But yeah, it's a cool find. Shame it's so old, but not that I can take it home anyway, but like still, pretty cool. Obviously been chewed by chipmunks or something. There's squirrels up here too, so probably squirrels, but yeah, cool find.
And another, probably about bigger, if anything.
So the last marked blood is a bit further on, but I've picked up the blood trail already, so just going to keep on following it and sniff hard. So one of the main problems with following blood on this ground is you can only really see it on the rocks and on the sticks. In this kind of stuff, it just disappears. But there is a lot of blood in this area. This is where it dead ended yesterday. He bled a lot on this kind of branch and stick here. It's dried in now, obviously. There's a lot on that rock, and there's some up here. It looks like he tried to get up there and couldn't, and came back down. But trying to come down myself causes a landslide. So everything's covered now, and I'm going to have to start kind of digging and hoping there's a little bit on the rocks. I think this is the way he went. I don't know. He could have gotten up into there, but there's no disturbed ground above this point. I've climbed up and over there, and I can't see any disturbed ground. There's disturbed ground that way, but like it kind of looks like a mule deer went that way, not a bear. And obviously Rod went that way yesterday. So I'm just trying to do what I can.
That's a good fish. That's a good fish. That was the biggest one I've had so far. That was probably length of my arm. I caught one of the little grasshopper things, put that on first, chuck, bump, straight away. And there's a bigger trout in there, I could see him, he's like 2 or 3 pounder in there. And I'm catch another grasshopper and try again.
So the main problem I'm having tracking the blood is that he's gone across dirt, and the dirt does not show up the blood well at all. You can barely see it. So he's gone uphill, failed, and I can tell that because the arrow didn't do a full pass through. He's only bleeding on one side. So you can tell where he's gone up, tried to get up a cliffy bit, failed, and turned round. But then the blood dead ends because it's on bloody dirt. Well, not bloody dirt. It's on dirt that you can't see blood in. Anyway, I've gone down because I thought maybe he went straight down. Makes sense. Most animals run downhill when they die. And again, there's a steep bit of cliff and then dirt. And I can't see any blood on that. Diagonally, I don't think he went that way. Because as soon as you stand on that dirt, you slide. And a heavy arse black bear is probably going to leave one hell of a skid mark down that stuff. So I've got along the way, which could be likely, is, again, dirt, so I can't see any blood, but there are tracks here. Some bear tracks, but it might not even be the same bear. It's a well-used area. And then up the way, which I don't see any bear tracks, I don't see any blood, but their muleys have been using it, and there's a wee bit of disturbance up there. So I'm just going to go and walk across both. Hope I smell something, hope I find blood. But there's that many like fissures and rocks, fissures in the rocks and like cracks and stuff that a bear could get into, and there's bits that I can't get to check, which I don't see the bear getting there, but maybe. I don't know, there's too much blood there for it to disappear. So I spent about 2 hours here searching every possible route out from the last blood, and I just can't pick up anything on the dirt. But Rod's just given me a wee phone call and said that he can see 2 red-tailed hawks and a bunch of magpies dicking around in the dead tree gorge. It's the first place I saw bears. It's just, 200 yards that way. So that's where I'm going. It might mean nothing, but it could mean everything. I got cliffed out trying to get over to the cut with the dead tree, so I decided to go straight up over the top and drop back down. There were so many wee caves here, some too deep to see the back of. Now I'm not scared of bears, I'm not scared of heights, but I can't do caves. If it's small enough to require crawling, I'm not going in. So I'm up above the cliffs now, which took a fair bit of doing, but hopefully I can drop back down on top of the magpies. She's going pretty up here, and there's some mule deer moving through here. I feel with a dog I might have had a chance, and it's one of the reasons I think bow hunting would fit so well in the UK. As I said, Tracking is just part of bow hunting, but we have such a strong culture of hunting with our dogs. It's different here, but back home, most deer stalkers have a dog by their side, even those who just do it recreationally. I've even known a bloke to take his wife's toy chihuahua out with him, because most dogs can be taught to track, and for the most part, even the most feckless potlicker will give you an indication if you take it to a shot site. I never really go out without mine, and I tell you what, I was missing my pair sorely here. So this is where Rod says the magpies were dropping into, so just work our way down it, and hopefully, fingers crossed. I'd spent 7 hours up there looking, and given myself a touch of heat stroke in the process, but it was to no avail. I didn't find my bear. I never would. We'd kept the local game warden in the loop throughout the situation, and he couldn't have been more helpful. We were grateful for his time and his advice. From the blood, he also believes it's a dead bear. We gave him our last pin, and if anyone were to ever find it and report it, he says he'd get in touch. There are so many what-ifs in this situation, and so many would've, could've, should've's. If I'd held an inch lower, I probably would have gotten that full pass-through. If I'd been pulling a bit more poundage, I might have broken through. If I'd had a better broadhead, I might have done more damage and he might have left a better trail. I am 90% certain there's a dead bear out there. And though I am beyond gutted that I never got to eat him, I know that as we go into winter, for many, he will be a blessing. The magpies, the turkey vultures, the crows and the hawks, the coyotes and the foxes, all will feast on him. He will feed the land in which he dwelt, and one day his bones will be the dust that his descendants walk on. From a human perspective, it was a waste, but it can be seen differently through the eyes of others. I'd love to shake this off and say that's just hunting, but this was an animal that I have dreamed about for years. To lose him like that absolutely gutted me. I'm still hurting over it. I don't think that's a wound that'll ever heal. But these things can either break you or make you better, and I have never been more motivated to up the poundage of my bow. It may have made no difference. Placement was the key player here, but by the time I go bow hunting again, I will be pulling 60.